Well, this is Dr. Eric Glover. He is a professor of educational leadership and policy analysis here at ETSU, and he has a new book that he has just published called The Myth of Accountability. Dr. Glover, if you would, please tell us how you arrived at this book.
Actually, this book came about over about the last 15 years as a product of my experiences, my personal experimentation as a school leader, and my interest in science and philosophy, and eventually just sort of all fit together. Essentially, what I've done is I spent a big part of the book documenting the flaws in our system. Some of of our educational system in terms of how we're using accountability as a limit on what human beings are actually able to learn. Our schools have continually been getting better and better and better. My argument is that they've been getting better not because of accountability systems, but in spite of accountability systems, and it has to do with the nature of human organization. The very first human organization was the family. The family began when some ancient mother from antiquity, accepted responsibility for her child and started working with that child to teach that child. And responsibility is a real key word because accountability limits that. Accountability is based on the notion that the only thing that motivates people are carrots and sticks. Schools become substitute parents when the child is at school. That's the idea. And the idea is it's not that they're just accountable. They are accountable, but they're much more than that. They're responsible. They're responsible in two ways. One is they're responsible to provide those children with an understanding of the society and the civilization of which they're a part. The second part is they're responsible for enabling these children to learn how to learn so that they're able to develop the new knowledge that their future is going to demand. What we should be focused on is how students learn and how we can do everything that we can to enable them to learn, because that's what the future is requiring, is their ability to learn. What accountability does is create these static systems that prevent those things from happening. In addition to that, it limits the quality of teaching that teachers are able to provide because it places an emphasis on a test score. And it places an emphasis on these low-level, manageable kinds of motivations for teachers. We need to look at education more from the notion of a family kind of an organization rather than some kind of a machine or mechanical kind of an organization. So what we need to be doing is looking at our schools and helping them to become more adaptable. The problems we have is that most of the schools in this country are very successful. The area that we've not been successful is in impoverished areas. What we've done in impoverished areas is we've taken the whole market thinking framework and created an area that is just these cycles of disadvantage that we have not figured out a way for it to break through. Our assumption is that, well, if we pay teachers more in these schools, they're going to be able to solve the problem, but they can't. The problem is that in these areas, what we've had is the community structure is broken down. It's not so much that our schools are failing our society. It's that our society is failing our communities. And we see that what we really have is our schools are a symptom of that failure when it happens. Our schools in upper middle class neighborhoods are as good as schools any place on this planet. Not only does this book document the problems with the accountability framework, what I also do is introduce what I see as some ways that we can challenge that framework, and challenge that framework in organizations so that even those people who are the ones who are holding other people accountable can then start to question their own beliefs and attitudes.